then been away 20 years. In 1999, it got kind of absorbed in the dot-com era, and then became an angel investor and a venture investor after that.
Oh, no.
So, like I said, we just opened the doors about a little over a year ago when we hired Katie. And as many of you know, especially depending on state budgets, we didn't have funding at all at the university system. So this may be a little bit more unique. It was more community-led. And I'll get a bit into that. But I run the Entrepreneurship Center at the University of Illinois Springfield. And but come from, wrote, starting in about the late 90s, wrote about incubators, but come more from an applied background of investing right now. So coming back to my hometown, saw a lack of, it was mentioned earlier, risk-taking, or a lack of creative activity. So sprung up Innovate Springfield. And like I said earlier in the remarks, I do wish can overflow to the government to some degree. So we're a little unique in, again, community-led, community-funded, no state taxpayer dollars, and have two big programs, which is economic development, or creating companies, creating entrepreneurs, and then social innovation. And whenever I hear the term social innovation, I think of eugenics, so it's not that. So keep that out of your mind. But Nadia will tell us a little bit more about what she runs the social innovation side. So, clicker?
Right there.
A little bit about
That was our space, by the way, downtown Springfield. We're on the corner of 5th and Adams, right on the Old State Capitol Plaza.
6th and Adams?
5th.
5th and Adams, right
Yeah.
on the plaza, right?
Yeah, Old State Capitol.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and our sign sort of wraps the corner there. So.
That is so cool.
And Bruce, UIS is located.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
How important that is. That's why I have this slide very far away from downtown. And not only geographically, but interconnectedly. So we wanted to bring the university downtown into the community. And we feel Innovate Springfield is kind of leading that charge. You can see the distance it is. About 120,000 people. You can see kind of lower unemployment rate, but lower median income as well. We have a lot of older family businesses, but small businesses. The state is not the largest employer if you take all the hospitals in the medical community, but the second largest, and then the schools are the third. So we have a culture of institution, and so with Innovate Springfield, we're trying to again change that. Here's a little bit about, you saw our enrollment's about 5,500. Growing slightly. We'll see what happens next year. But one unique thing, about half of those are graduate students. So we have a relatively significant number of graduate students on campus. Computer science leads that, business administration, and in business administration, MIS. So we do have some technology. We don't have a lot of research going on other than in those spaces, are those sectors there. Community-led, Community Foundation, which I'm on the board of. We felt that was a better partner to launch this than the state of Illinois, at least at this time. So we raised money privately, and then University of Illinois is a partner in this, but not necessarily leading the launch. A little bit of the timeline, and that the font kind of got messed up, sorry about that. I did an assessment about 12 years ago when I was at the University of New Hampshire about the needs. What does a community have in Springfield that would allow for a good resource base for an incubator? Since then, it was shelved for a while, and then we started talking to partners in 2013. Then the Community Foundation Lincoln Land really stepped up and said, let's launch this thing. And so we did that just last year, hired Katie, and she'll tell you about the operations in 1 second. But the two main centers that really push this endeavor at the university is the Center for Entrepreneurship and Family Business, which I run, and the Center for State Policy and Leadership, which is run by David Racine. And Nadia, again, will talk a bit about the social side of that. Katie, do you want to take over?
Yeah, so this is Incubator. You saw the shot of the downtown location. We're in about 7,000 square feet in an old accounting firm. And so when we got in the space, it was a blank slate, but it was sort of formerly a cubicle farm, so it's totally wired, which was really great for us. We did some, and I don't know, I haven't seen the slides, so I don't know how much we get into kind of the actual interior of the space, but we tried to open it up and make it a little more of the traditional co-working space feel by having lots of tables and mobile desks and kind of that open space. We have 8 private offices that we lease out to companies that are sort of ready to be in a private office setting. Right now we only have 1 available. And then we have a workstation level, which gives them kind of semi-permanent access where they have a file cabinet that they can lock. It's their own space. They can sort of decorate it. And here's a shot of that kind of the middle area. That's our kind of middle of the road level of membership. And then we have the co-working space, of course, which is kind of dropped wherever you want to sit, whether it's in the lounge near the coffee or if it's at one of the working tables. Capacity for about 30 or so co-working type of businesses. Right now we're at about 12 businesses that are currently at that stage, and then the workstation we have 2 that are being utilized. The rest are available, so about 10 workstations open. Like I said, the private offices, we have 1 available at the moment. So that includes our, Nadia and myself, our offices are in that. So yeah, and this is just a nice view. We're centrally located in Springfield. This is a view from one of the private offices, and you overlook the Old State Capitol Plaza. There's a lot of activity that happens around the plaza throughout, especially this time of year. There's a lot of tours that are taking place. There's art and art shows and music on the plaza and all sorts of stuff. So it's kind of a hub of activity, which is nice. We know that the type of people that we're attracting to our space are really, that's something that they're into. So again, just highlighting kind of the our members. We have a couple of entrepreneurial support organizations, so that would be University of Illinois Springfield, and then Forefront, which used to be the Donors Forum based out of Chicago. I don't know if any of you are familiar. They have a Springfield program director down in Springfield, so she has an office there, which is great for our social innovation partnership because she also offers programming for nonprofits in our space, and so it's just bringing those people into us, engaging with them, having those partnerships. Our major focus right now is that just growing that membership, exposure, and financial stability. So those are kind of always on the top of my mind at all times. But the ultimate goal are kind of, these are our metrics, are how many jobs are we creating, how many companies are we creating, what's the GDP, what's how the economic diversity. So that's kind of in a quick nutshell where we're at operationally, and I have to run through this quickly too, not only to help keep us on time, but I have to get back down to Springfield for a board meeting, so I'm buzzing out after the these two are going to stay for all the great information. So Nadia can talk about social innovation. It's really great that we have these 2 partnerships together, and that I think fuses us with the university very well through those centers that Bruce talked about, but I'll let Nadia kind of talk about the work she's been doing on social innovation.
Yeah, so I came on to iSPI in October last year, so it's still relatively new. But I think our social innovation program, eventually we envision many different things. Social innovation is such a broad category, and it can mean so many different things to different people and different populations. But we were fortunate that our social innovation partners, the Center for Student Policy and Leadership from University of Illinois Springfield, already had a roadmap for us. So a couple of years prior to when I came on, they convened lots of community practitioners, so educators, heads of nonprofits, service providers throughout Springfield, St. County community, and created this Sangamon Success Report. So we've kind of adopted this as Innovate Springfield's roadmap for social innovation. It's a set of 25 recommendations for how we can use evidence-based and evidence-informed programs and initiatives to support less advantaged youth in St. County from cradle to career. So that's a lot. Essentially, every one of these 25 recommendations is a huge project in itself. But we start, like I said, it's cradle to career, so we actually start prenatally. We have just implemented our first recommendation, and I'm really excited about it. It's the Nurse Family Partnership Program. We started it up in Springfield I like that better. And tell them that. So that's a really exciting way that we're just, I think social innovation, business incubation is new for Springfield, but social innovation is like totally new. So I think sometimes people get confused about why we're both, or kind of a unicorn combination of these things. But really our vision is for creating a more hopeful and more supportive Springfield community, and that means supporting everybody. And I think it's a question of us getting together the most creative people in Springfield and figuring out how we can use our community's best resources for the people who need it the most. So
We believe, yeah, we firmly believe that innovation, in order to be a truly innovative community, you have to have a healthy community. And innovation, the business side is sort of the shiny thing, and the other side is the piece that where we really need a lot of good thought leaders and the entire community to come together. Nadia also just held a youth mentoring summit last week that was very successful. We brought all of the youth mentor program advisors, which surprisingly we were talking about this on the way up. A lot of them are from Chicago, so
yes,
but they all came together and heard about evidence-based best practices in around mentoring. So that was another piece of one of the recommendations from the report. So great convening and bringing those folks together. That's just been a wonderful outcome of the social innovation program.
it's really good empowering people with information. So it's been great.
Russ, did you mention the CEO program?
Yeah, but it's not
It's
that
something
CEO.
different.
This
Okay.
is collegiate
Okay.
entrepreneurs.
And one of the other programs that we've been operating for a while now is the Sing CEO program, which is for high school students. We have 10 different high schools from the county who become entrepreneurs. They go through 2 semesters of kind of build up and launch their own business, and so we house that program at the university.
And
Or excuse me, go ahead.
And received dual credit for that. Yeah.
They receive college credit and high school credit for it as well. One of the reasons for that, when I did kind of come back to the area, we wanted to reach down to the community for the ecosystem. And we needed to get younger folks, not just college age, and we needed to get older folks, not just graduate age folks. So the combination we think is kind of nice. And then going forward, we mentioned, or Laura mentioned innovation districts. We're going to call ours a corridor because we can't really do a district, I don't think, yet because of their size. But we want this live workspace environment eventually to come through Springfield. And we suffer from what many communities are brain drain. And we need to attract, not necessarily from your communities, of course, but attract innovative people back into our county or our town.
Or keep them.
And keep them. And then one of the challenges that I'm seeking, I think, or hoping from this network, which I'm very excited about, Laura, so thank you for organizing this, is kind of resources from around the state coming back to Springfield with an institutional mindset, especially government mindset. It has been a challenge not only to find entrepreneurs, but help them develop, but also community members. Talk about risk taking and understanding those kind of paradigms around that, and introducing new concepts to them has been a longer duration rather than a shorter duration. And we lack the mentors of these aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start these very interesting technology companies, but we don't necessarily have technology entrepreneurs in our community. So I'm hoping from this network we can perhaps reach to yours and find those mentors.
But that being said, we have incredible support from the community. They are very excited for this endeavor, and every event that we host or engagement opportunity that we provide, they show up, and they not only show up just in person, they show up and bring what they can. So that's been, I think, a surprising kind of side of that challenge piece.
So whenever you're in town, please stop in.
Yeah.
Bruce, integrating with the university specifically, I know this has a community piece as well, but from a university perspective,
Yeah.
are you seeing students and faculty use this space despite not being on campus? Has that been a
Yeah.
challenge?
All the time.
So,
Yeah. That's
again,
incredible.
there is a movement, and our chancellor is very much in support of bringing, we have a housing kind of project downtown as well. I bring all my classes to downtown.
Phenomenally. not only Bruce's class, we've had some folks from the history department that want to be near the old state capitol and in some innovative kind of thinking differently about the way that they've approached parks and recreation and historic preservation. And so I feel like everybody that we've talked to really wants to, come into the space and use it as much as they can. So yeah, we've had several classes there, and look to next year, Kim Wiley, the MPA program is going to be hosting a class there regularly, and then students just coming in to be in the space a little bit and just kind of interact and engage.
But no, like free student model yet or something like that.
We have free student model now. Yeah, both the high school CO program and the UIS.
Membership.
While they're a student. Yes.
I spent 40 years going to Springfield. It's just amazing that you're getting this started. I'm thinking maybe I ought to come and spend some time with you. Just think about how you could connect with all the lobbyists that walk by that, and the business people that walk by that state every day on their way to the Hotel Lincoln.
And we're right off of the train
Just right
station
there. I mean,
as well.
That's
so.
part of it, and that's part of the reason for the location, and as well as
You're right next to the Springfield Chamber of Commerce too, right?
they've since
They
moved. We were 4 doors down. They since moved away. They're coming back. But yeah, yeah. And the new Department of Innovation Technology has been there a lot, utilizing the space. So we appreciate that. But yeah, it was deliberate to that end, and that's why we open it not just for business, but also we have lobbyists come in to help with some of the business that we're launching for sure. Yeah.
So if the state ever gets its act together, this will be a cool thing for them. They'll probably take credit for it, even though they did it all without
We own nothing.
Nothing's impossible.
In fact,
Because you're right down the street from DCEO too, so